Learning objectives. At the end of this topic, you will be able to multiply 4-digit numbers with 1-digit number, 10 and 2-digit number. Shaheen and her students are involved in the recycling campaign. They're collecting, counting and sorting the different items to be recycled.
Wow, look at this, teacher. There are so many bottles and aluminum cans and bundles of papers and magazines. Yes, teacher. They look like mountains. I wonder how we are going to count them.
Does anyone here know how to solve the problem?
Yes, teacher. I think I know how to solve this problem. We can put the items that we want to count in groups and multiply, so we don't have to count one by one.
Very good. You're right. Multiplication is repeated addition, which will give us the product. Now let's see what we can do about these mountains. Look, some of the aluminum cans are ready in boxes. It will be easy for us to count and find out the number of cans.
Yes, you're right. The newspapers are also arranged in rows. We can find the number of rows and number of bundles in each row and multiply.
Yes, children, you're right. Now let's arrange the bottles in these cards. Then we can find the number of items that we've collected today.
Okay, teacher.
Come, children, let's count the bundles of papers first. Look, they're already in groups. Count the number of groups they're in.
Okay, teacher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 groups of newspaper bundles, teacher.
Okay. How many copies of the newspapers are there in each group?
The groups are labeled as 4,675. This means each group has 4,675 copies of papers.
So, do you think you can find the total number of copies?
Yes, we should multiply 4,675 with 6.
Yes, you're right. Can anyone find the total for us?
Yes, 4,675 times 6 in the vertical form first. Then I start multiplying from the ones, followed by the tens, the hundreds, and finally the thousands.
Yes, you're right. Now let's solve it together. 5 times 6 will be 30, which means we get 3 tens. So we write 0 and bring 3 tens to the tens place. Now can you continue?
Yes, 7 times 6 will be 42. We add 42 to the 3 tens. We will get 45. This means we have 4 hundreds and 5 tens. So we write 5 in the answers place and we bring 4 to the hundreds place. Now 6 times 6 will be 36, which we should add to 4. This gives us 40. We write 0 in the answers place and bring 4 to the thousands. 4 times 6 will be 24. 24 added to the 4 thousands, we get 28. So we have 28 thousands. Thus the answer becomes 28,050. So we have 28,050 copies of newspapers to be recycled.
Yes. Now can any one of you tell me another way to get the answer?
Yes, we add 4,675 by repeatedly 6 times. Yes, but it is a very long way and takes longer to get the answer. Now we can find the number of bottles we have here. That will be easy. Our friends have put them in a big container. We can multiply.
Yes, you can multiply and find the number of bottles we have. Make sure all the containers have the same number of bottles and count the number of containers.
I have already counted the number of containers, teacher. There are 10 containers altogether. And I have checked the labels. All the containers have the same number of bottles, which is 3,460. So now we multiply 3,460 by 10. The answer will be 34,600. Wow! How did you calculate the answer so fast? My father told me. He said we just need to add 0 as the last digit to any number, which is multiplied by 10.
Yes, that's right. It is a very fast way to get the answer. Anyway, you can also find the product by multiplying the number using the vertical form.
Yes, 3,460 times 0. 0 times 0 gives 0. 6 times 0 also gives 0. 4 times 0 is 0. And again 3 times 0 is another 0. Now we have to multiply the number by 1. We can start writing the answer from the tens place. 0 times 1 gives 0, which will be 0 tens followed by 6 tens times 1, which gives 6 hundreds. 4 hundreds times 1, which gives 4,000, and 3,000 times 1, which gives 3 10,000s. This means multiplying by any other number by 1 gives the same number. So when we multiply a number by 10, the product is 10 times bigger, which we get by just adding a 0 to the right end of the number when we want to multiply.
Very good. Well, let's find out how many aluminum cans we have.
Now we have to count the number of these boxes first. There are so many boxes here. It says here that the boxes have 2,645 cans in each box.
Well, let's count the boxes. There are 26 boxes here.
Correct. Now we can multiply the two numbers, get the product, which will give us the number of aluminum cans. Yes, 2,645 times 26. First, we shall solve the problem in its vertical form. 2,645 times 26. Now we start multiplying from the ones, followed by tens, hundreds, and thousands. First, we multiply 5 and 6, we get 30. I write 0 below the ones and trade 3 to the tens place. I multiply 4 tens with 6 and get 24 tens. I add 3 to the 24 and get 27 tens. I write 7 below the tens and trade 2 to the hundreds, and I multiply 6 hundreds and 6, which is 36 hundreds. I add 2 to 36 and get 38 hundreds. I write 8 below the hundreds and trade 3 to the thousands. I multiply 2,000 with 6 and get 12 thousands. I add 3 to the 12 and get 15,000. I add 5 below the 1,000 and 1 below the 10,000. Next, I multiply 5 and 2 tens. I get 10 tens. I write 0 below the tens and trade 1 to the hundreds. I multiply 4 tens and 2 tens, which is 8 hundreds. I add 1 to 8 and get 9 hundreds. I write 9 below the hundreds. I multiply 6 hundreds with 2 tens and get 12 thousands. I write 2 below the 1,000 and trade 1 to the 10,000s. I multiplied 2 thousands with 2 tens and get 4 10,000s. I add 1 to 4 and get 5 10,000s. I write 5 below the 10,000s. I then add the two numbers. 0 plus 0 is 0. 7 tens plus 0 tens is 7 tens. 8 hundreds plus 9 hundreds is 17 hundreds. I write 7 below the hundreds and trade 1 to the thousands. 1,000 plus 5,000 is 6,000. 6,000 plus 2,000 is 8,000s. 1 10,000s plus 5 10,000 is 6 10,000s. So the answer I get is 68,770.
Congratulations! In this lesson, you have learnt to multiply 4-digit numbers with 1-digit number, 10-digit numbers, 2-digit numbers. Always remember to start multiplying from the ones place. When you multiply by 10, remember that you can do a quick calculation just by adding a 0 next to the ones place. This will give you the answer.